And hello and welcome to another episode of Could Have Been a Classic. Oh God, this one's been a nightmare to get through, and I don't know what to make of it. In 2000, this series came out called Codename Maternity. Right, oh my God, what a lot of bollocks this was. Right, I've sat painstakingly through this. I've actually had to go out and hunt the final 6 episodes. I did get to 4. I've researched the final episode. I have actually seen the final episode 20 years ago, and it did bring a memory flashback. So, from what I can remember, it's not online. I've been everywhere. I've put the best agents on it. Friends of mine that can find all kinds of stuff. Nobody can find it. Right, so let's start. Right, Ingrid Kevillars. Oh, so you won't kick her out of you won't kick her out of bed. She's stunning, right? Cameron Bancroft, Gordon Curry, and banning the baddie, right? Andrew Gilliette or something like that's his name. Right, it starts off Codename Maternity. I don't even know why it's called Codename Maternity. It don't make any sense whatsoever. Right, so the story is, right, there's an expedition to Earth years ago by this guy called Banning who done something on his own planet, which it sort of contradicts itself a bit, this, because, right, they come from the planet Ferron, right, and they come to Earth because something's happened on their planet and they're relocated to another world. Now, Banning did some on the mother planet, and he believes that they found another planet, but he believes they should go to Earth, annihilate the human race, and take over the planet. Right? I mean, this is quite simple, the basic structure of it. So he's on Earth. And obviously, he's been there a while. He's set up a corporation. He's employing people. There's a couple. He's got followers from his planet. So I assume he was some kind of leader, but he had a lot of followers back home on Ferra. So, like, he's on Earth in his big corporation. He's got a big desk, right, as usual. I mean, I love this guy as a baddie. He's so bad, right, that, right, back to the story. I'm going off on a tangent again, right, because I've had to suffer this. Honestly, I have, right. So, he's like on Earth. Anyway, his planet, Ferron, send 4 soldiers to Earth with special capabilities to either bring him back and stop what he's doing. Because it all comes out that a lot of Ferrons don't believe in taking life. You know, even though they're very technologically advanced, they've got this view that it's wrong. But Banning had some followers and they went on this expedition and stayed on Earth. Now, that's sort of the basic thing of banning the baddie. He wants to destroy the Earth so he can occupy it and run the place. He don't care about us. Now, he's got a couple of problems. We'll go into that in a minute. Anyway, in the first episode, it's called The familial story, and it is about him, Cameron Bancroft. He's called the familial. He's in a spaceship zipping his way to Earth. He's been sent by his government to either bring Banning back or stop him, right? But Banning got his scientific genius and he's like ahead of us. And one of his corporations has an energy weapon, connects to a satellite, fires a beam at a familial ship, and it crashes. But they don't look like us. They're all in these like pods on the ship, changing into humans, right? And comes with that human feelings and experiences. You know, it's like this. There's nothing different about this. It's where it sort of gets interesting. I'm going to go into this, right? So he gets shot down, and anyway, Bannon and his corporate troops turn up. They're all running around the planet, like near this forest, hunting him down. Nathaniel escapes, and then we come into. He ends up in hospital because he's lost his memory, and everybody's like chasing everybody around. And there's a psychologist there, Ingrid Kevillars. Oh, I'm not being funny, guys. She's stunning, right? I mean, I think it's one of the reasons why I watched this. She was just absolute. She's a babe, right? And she ends up becoming like interested in him and all this. And Banning's he's got some interest in the hospital. He's on the board of directors, and he wants to transfer Nathaniel to one of his facilities. And He's got an android. I mean, he's got this stupid android. It's a pound shop Terminator. I am not kidding you, Mr. Dent, right? He's about 5'4", right? And right, he can change shape. He can make himself look like anybody else, and he moves his head like that all the time. And he's always like that, you know. I mean, it's just fucking stupid at what they did with this guy. But you remember the polymorph effects from Terminator 2? They used that. I think that's where all budget went. Well, anyway, he's his android, and he just, I mean, I'm going to go into this android character in a minute. Anyway, so Nathaniel's in the hospital. He meets her, they get together. She knows there's something going on, and it all starts, the run off together, and the escape at end, and they don't run. But Nathaniel's got to go back to his ship because there's something on the ship what Banning wants, and he's got the ship in one of his facilities. I think by episode 3, they get in there, he gets the thing from the ship because only he can open this like safe thing up, this computer thing on ship. Banning can't touch it because it's their technology. And he's got a tube, and inside there's like all this Pharaon technology and a weapon, and he's got loads of diamonds. I think that's to set himself up on Earth. So, because on their planet there's diamonds all over the place. So anyway, they do a runner, and he gets his memory back, and his mission is to find his brother, who's a scientific genius, who's trying to stop Banning, but he's disappeared, his brother. So he's looking for him, which sort of like you sort of forget about his brother in later episodes, you know. So like Mr. Dent, right? Mr. Dent's this 5'3", 5'4", useless robot, android thing, where he's always like that with his face. You know, like that, smiles like sinister. Smiles really sinister. But he's always getting a bollocking each time. Every episode, Banning like this cheesy baddie sits behind the desk, ordering everybody to die. And I mean, he's really like a megalomaniac. Like, now, Mr. Dent, you will not fail me again. And he goes, I won't. They will come back dead. And he goes off, and he gets blown up every week. He gets beaten up. He gets thrown off a boat. He got thrown off a skyscraper, shatters into pieces, re-emerges. He gets shot every week. I mean, there's all these things where he changes into somebody and all this. And this android, but he seems, what's interesting, when he gets told off all the time, this android, and Banning's followers, these other Pharaons, they can't stand him, because they just think he's he's not real, he's a machine. But he seems to be like Banning's greatest invention, Mr. Dent. And there is one or two episodes where he does start to resent Banning. Like when Banning's like giving him, he's always lecturing him all the time, right? And he's like that with his head. And he does get a bit sort of like clever with him, and Banning gets really annoyed. Now, I will sort of like, it did make you wonder, it would have been good if like, you know, that Dent would turn on Banning, which would sort of be interesting to finish off. Now, this series, so like every week, right? So Banning's up to some Pharaon technology merged with this, or some insidious, devious plot to destroy the world, right? And Nathaniel's learned, oh yeah, right. Ingrid Kevilar's character, the psychologist, there's this sexual attraction with them all the time, will they or won't they? Which sort of makes it quite interesting, because he's a bit naive, is Nathaniel, right? You know, because he's from this other planet. And like they have this little bit of music. There's always that like this at the end of each episode when they've stopped the weekly plot. There's the music sort of kicks in nicely, right? So like you know, there's this thing there, you know. And it goes on. So like I'm like, oh God, I'm like 10 episodes in, and my head's like this, because all they do every week is there's explosions running about, him with his stupid plot to destroy the world, right? In a suit from behind his desk, right? Or one of his secret facilities. I mean, you know, or he's kidnapping scientists. It's all the standard stuff that he's trying to, you know, and this goes on for 26 episodes. I mean, it does. It's mind-blowing, right? And there's more running about in this. All they do is running about. Now, in later episodes, they get a hacker called Bider, and he comes into conspiracy and all that, and he starts hacking computers and all this. Because when Nathaniel, like, we got the ship, there were all these diamonds. They sold all diamonds. and he bought a big yacht. And I mean, he lives on a big yacht, right? And he's got supercomputers on board. I mean, don't ask, right? This is like 2000, right? So he's got all these computers on board. They've got the shacker everywhere. He's hacking into Banning's thing because they were like trying to hack Banning's computers, and he got caught up in one of his schemes and found out they were all aliens that looked like us. I mean, there is a couple of like now there were 4 of them on ship. I think 2 died. There's one called Torrance. He's caught by Banning, and he's Oliver Grunier. He's a martial artist. He did a lot of over years. There were a lot of like cheap, nasty DVD movies. I've seen a few of them. He's a good actor, actually. I really would have thought he would have cracked Hollywood, actually, but he never did. He's like a pound shop Van Damme, right? This is where he's a pound shop Van Damme. So you got a pound shop Terminator and a pound shop Van Damme, right? So he's like doing martial arts. I mean, there's all these like when he turns up, because he's like trying to kill a familial, right? And then he gets his memory back, and they remember the mission, and so he disappears and keeps popping up in odd episode. But I think he lives on yacht. He meets this cat burglar, and he falls in love with her. There's something about it. He can't understand these feelings he's getting. Because they don't look like us, they feel different to us. But in human bodies, you know, they get the human feelings, you know. And they're all running about again, more running about. So he's like, every time he does martial arts, like a double edit shot, you know, like his hands swinging around, and then you get another same shot, and then guys like, and then, you know, flying across like that. And it's just, it's same format every week. It doesn't change at all. Right? I mean, I think episode 9, they've got this human woman. She's a model or something, and she puts these pheromones on, and she goes and meets powerful people and seduces them because they all like, you know, everybody gets obsessed with her, and he sends her in to do it on the familial with his pheromone stuff, and it does work on him, and she gets right jealous, but obviously she puts a stop to it. And the woman who was like doing it, she like tries it on with Banning, but it doesn't affect him. He just like gets hold of it and said, "Don't work on me." And then there's Mr. Dent, who sort of like goes off on all these missions. And every week, I mean, you know, I mean, the scenes like with Mr. Dent at the pound shop Terminator, I mean, he's thrown off skyscrapers, down lift shafts, he's blown up, shot, energy weaponed. I mean, it's just do everything to him. But I've got to admit, I do like his character. He's like, it's this cheesy version of being evil, and it's just like he don't like human beings. I mean, in episode 24, Chameleon, which I think is the best episode, right? There's a Ferron holographic device, and Nathaniel, he gets hold of it, and he turns into Mr. Dent, and he sneaks into his headquarters, into one of his facilities. And he's building this device, because this is where you get into the final episode. Some device is being built. There is, I mean, with this, there is some continuity with it, which is sort of interesting. But Mr. Dent gets on board the yacht, and he tries seducing her, his partner, you know, Ingrid Kevlar. He tries seducing her, and she's like a bit suspicious. Well, she figures out it's Mr. Dent, you know. And Banning's getting confused because he's going, Mr. Dent, you know, I told you to do this. So you've got all these, he's got a load of henchmen that are just all rather stupid. And it all ends up again, you know, that it's like he turns up back on yacht after he's destroyed this hologram device, because Banning wants to do something with it to destroy it. There's something in it he needs to get this device going. So he turns up on yacht, and anyway, she, like, there's 2 of them are familials, and she shoots the right one because, you know, they have a connection. And that's basically it. So, like, there's the one, I mean, every week there is 1 or 2, like, there's Banning's followers. So there's quite a lot of them on Earth. I mean, I don't know how many bloody Ferons living on Earth. Seems to be quite a few of them. But they're all terrified of Banning. And then you've got this, like, his brother, Torrance. And then there were a guy called Couldve, he likes the finer things in life. He's been totally humanized, but he's in denial about it, you know. And he's got his own agenda. He's just trying to get money out of Banning. And this is where we're at every week. It's the same format in and out. And like I said, I know I've said this, but It's a load of running about. Now, what's interesting about it, we get to the final episode, and basically it's all the same format. Mr. Dent getting blown up, and they're all running about. Her and him, are they are, they're not going to do it. Banning having a massive freak out because he has a problem, does Banning. When he came to her, when they changed him into humans, the process lasted a certain amount of time, and he could change at any time. Now, familial, because he's this regeneration system, his brother created it. He can stay permanently human, whereas Banning can't. So he's on a time. That's why he wants to destroy us. So if he does revert into his real form, he can survive. So obviously they can't survive in our environment. You know, it's like the Invaders, and I mean, this is like the Invaders at 85 miles an hour. It's like, you know, watching Invaders on fast forward, but with this new concept. Now, this was done in 2000. It was a cheap program. it was cheap, right? And it went out. With Farscape and SG1 on Sci-Fi Channel. Can you believe they put it up there with them? And because at the end of each episode mysteriously appear on my screen, it says, "So tune in to Stargate next week or Farscape." Yeah, so it went out with the big programs, and this thing got panned and it got forgotten about and it sunk. Now, information on it is really limited. I actually did join the Codename Maternity fan club. It had 3 members and they wouldn't let me in. They wouldn't let me in. I tried, honestly, I sent off a request on FB, Facebook, and they had 3 members and they wouldn't let me in. You know, honestly, they wouldn't let me in. I mean, so I looked around, like, and there's bits about it everywhere. So I've had to do a lot of digging on this. It flopped big time. So the writers, well, obviously, when they all got sacked and said this is getting cancelled because it's crap, right? They finished it off at final episode where there were no point bringing a second season. Now you're going to ask, where could this have been a classic? There is. Oh God, dare I say it? Put it this way, right? I'm going to tell you now, right? Where there is some potential, but will it get the title? Right, in the final episode, right, episode 26, right, which I've managed to see a couple of clips of and done a lot of reading and from my own memories, right? The Storm is his headquarters. They're all usual stuff going on. And then it's Nathaniel and Banning facing off, and then he activates the device that'll knock Earth off its axis, and it finishes. That is what I've read. That's how it finishes, on a massive cliffhanger. You know, and that's where we're left. So did Banning destroy Earth? And I mean, he's the most useless supervillain you could. Honestly, it's worth this to give this a look, right? Just for the sheer entertainment value of shite, right? I don't know what it is about this bloody program, right? I came into Codename Maternity many years ago, about 20 years ago. Channel 4. On a Sunday night, used to show 5 hours of science fiction every week of cancelled TV series. And it went on. It came on after Movie Drone, funny enough. And it were on Channel 4. So you got Crusade, you got Mortal Kombat, the TV series, Codename Maternity, and you got something else. They're always, V for Vendetta or something. No. V for Vengeance with Michael Madsen, which I'm quite a fan of, actually. I'm going to cover that at some point. And that got cancelled after 12 episodes, but it did have potential. Right, and, you know, I used to go to bed because obviously I had to go to work, but I used to record it through night. So Monday night when I got in from work, I'd watch it all. You know, I'd sit and, 5 hours of sci-fi and Crusade and all that. Great, honestly, fantastic what Channel 4 did then. They don't do this stuff now. And I came up on Codename Maternity. Now, I never could, every week I watched it, I didn't have a bloody clue what were going on, right? I never knew because none of it made any sense. They were all running about Mr. Dent being thrown out a window. Will he and go at it like rabbits? Mr. Banning, who was stereotype corporate baddie with this, like, dire acting, but it's just something fascinating about it. And Nathaniel feeling human feelings. I mean, this was every week. It was just all same thing. You know, so, and like, I never knew what was going on. So then when I started digging, it all came out. When they first showed it in Canada, right, they never put it in right order. They showed it in stupid, like the first episode went out, and then every other episode after that, it was like episode 5 as number 2 and episode 9 as number 12. And that's how Channel 4 showed it. And I remember getting to the final episodes, and I remember when he activated Machine, and that is where I'm going to say this finished, and that is 99%. I think I'm accurate on. And it's only one country on DVD, and I'm not paying £65 for it either. I'm telling you, I'm not. Now, that is Codename Maternity. I've watched it in the order. There's 20 episodes on YouTube, and I've managed to find a few scattered around the internet, and there's some on Vimeo as well. But that's it. You know, there's still like things missing. Now, the information is pretty scarce. Only say it got cancelled, and then it vanished under the rug. But over the years, I've met several people, and they bring it up. Do you remember that crazy series where they're all running about called Name Maternity? It used to be on Sunday night. And there's a friend of mine, he keeps bringing it up every couple of years, Codename Maternity. And I'm Codename Maternity. He's always doing that, like, yeah, Codename Maternity. That's that. Because when opening credits, it's like Eternity. You know, all that to make it really cool. Because like the credits, it's like a VCR on fast forward. You know, watching beginning credits. And several people have sort of brought this up over years and said, "Do you remember that crazy series called Codename Maternity?" Nobody had a clue what it was about. Well, it took me 20 years to finally figure out what the hell's been going on, right? So I'm sort of quite happy. I've got the full story now. Yeah, do you know what I mean? I mean, this thing is you're just not going to find it. I mean, I've been on streaming site; it's just not there. You know, and the episodes on YouTube are terrible. I mean, you get them little boxes. So this thing has lingered at the back of my subconscious for nearly 20 years, and every time it infuriated me. I knew nothing about it. So this time, because of this like lockdown we've been in, I've took the time out to I'm that sad. I went and watched most of it. You know, no, I conquered it. I won and defeated it. So, is it a classic? Now, this is the big question. Right. There's something in it, right? It's fantastic intro. You can't. It's the best thing about it. It's got this intro. It's like super fast, and I love the music. The music's in my head now. I love that music. Great soundtrack, and the characters. I will have to say, by episode 10, I actually did start to like him. You know, there's something there. I mean, his connection with her, will they or what? There is a something there. You do get quite into that. Banning's like this cheesy pantomime baddie, and he's just pure entertainment value. And then Mr. Dent, he's just the cartoon character. He's just going to sit there and laugh your ass off at. Because he's so bad and cheesy. There's things in this that make you watch it, but not take it seriously. It's comical. And how they got the financing to make this shite is beyond me. It really is. But there's something in there. It's this thing where you just go in and sort of take a look and you think, God, what's next one? And it goes very quick and you get through the episodes pretty quick. Now, is Codename Maternity a classic? It hasn't even got cult status. I mean, I found a fan club. It had 3 members. There might be something else out there. I don't know. You know, no. There's something inspiring about it. It should have got a season 2. I can go as far as that. It would have been nice to sort of go to the next series. Because there's quite a few plot holes and unresolved questions, but the sense continue, and you do like continuation, but you do like the characters. I like Nathaniel sort of trying to become human. I liked his compatriots. I like Bida the hacker, but they got rid of him after 9 episodes. She's a babe, and she's a really good character. On a serious level, she's a really interesting character, but there's nothing. There is little bits in this that make this stand out. There's little bits. The actors are so bad and so good and so cheesy that as an entertainment value program for sheer cringeworthiness and entertainment and think, well, this is make it. At least the one thing this can do is put a smile on your face. I mean, that is the one thing this can do. But I'm sorry, Codename Maternity, because you confounded me for 20 years. I'm not going to give you the status of could have been a classic. You just come under the fence line. I think you could have been worthy of season 2 with the way the final episode went. But they didn't. The writers ended it. I mean, they knew, didn't they? They knew. I mean, the concept's nothing new. Alien turns up, and trying to stop other alien, and he's experienced being a human and learning and all that. Cheap television, even. I mean, there is like most of the budget goes on Mr. Dent. I mean, there is comical moments like where every end of each episode, Mr. Dent is getting told off. And at the beginning, he's always saying to him, Banning's always saying, Mr. Dent, do not fail me this time. And, he's this cyborg. It cost obviously hundreds of millions of dollars back at the time to build. It's fucking useless. I mean, he's the worst robot out there. He is. But there is a little bit of like with Mr. Dent, he starts challenging Banning because Banning is feeling human emotion. And he's not realising it, his anger and all that. He says he ain't, but that would have been interesting to explore that human thing in Banning, where he said he was immune to it. We're taking slowly, it were becoming more human, like, with his evil and that. And the robot, Dent, is picking up on this, and eventually he's going to look at him as being flawed. But Banning's not, Banning created him. Banning gets hold of him by the throat and said, if you fail me again, he said, all you've ever done is fail me. And he says, make me happy, Mr. Dent. And Mr. Dent says, well, we'll find him again. I mean, that's the robot's answer. So this is my review of Codename Maternity. This has been a difficult one, because it's done my head in for a long time. And I feel that I've made peace with Codename Maternity now. I've finally put it to rest. I don't have to look at it, read anything about it. It's gone. But it don't get the title of could have been a classic. It's just, it had potential. It could have gone certain places, but no. So that's my review of another episode of Could Have Been a Classic. Check it out, Codename Maternity. And if you've got any information about it, I would appreciate it. I really would. Because there's just not much out there about it. It's worth a look, guys. If you have a few beers, smoke a couple of doobers, and just sit back, and it'll take you on a ride. And where you end up is totally bonkers. Codename Maternity. So I'm going to say bye-bye till the next episode. And I'm looking for the record button, which I've just found. And I will be doing a live show at 6 o'clock on Sunday, UK time. I will see you then. I'm really looking forward to talking to everybody. It's been a while, hasn't it? So it's going to be nice to catch up and see what everybody's been up to and see where we end up in the conversation. Right then, guys, stay safe, and I will speak to you soon, and live long and prosper.